The WEF 8 predictions for the world in 2030. The WEF 8 predictions for the world in 2030.
All right, how about that? That better? Sorry. All right, sorry about that. Yes, anyway, I was trying something new. I was giving it a shot. So hopefully you guys can hear me now. All right, how about that? That better? Sorry. You're getting stupid with the 5x5. All right, there it is. Thank you guys. Thank you for the 5x5s. Nope, no. All right, Groundhog, thank you for the 5x5. Dobie, Michael, Joseph, Adriana, thank you for the 5x5. The Awakening, Tom, Dan Phillips, Water Tiger, thank you for the 5x5. Witty Mystic, The Watchman, Lost, thank you for the 5x5. Dee, Jan, Jeffrey, Crow, Kathy, Gary, Sarita, Mark, Krista, Loretta, thank you for the 5x5. Flown Grown, thank you for the 5x5. Monica, Koala, Lori, Standalone, thank you for the 5x5. F you all, Mississippi Gulf, Simpler, thank you for the 5x5. Bad Botter, thank you for the 5x5. Cobalt, thank you for the 5x5. You can hear the sirens loud and clear. Thank you, Aaron, appreciate it. On the Verge, thank you for the 5x5. The Awakening. All right. Thank you for the 5x5. All right. So, guys, tonight we're going to talk about the 8 predictions from the World Economic Forum. What's incredible about the whole thing, this list, is more than 8, but I think these are the 8 bullet points they want to focus on moving forward. And there's definitely more, but they undoubtedly are telling us the 8 that they're like focused on. And I don't like any of them. Especially, there's one when I get to, you're going to be like, they are dead serious. And they keep bringing it up. You go on their website, they keep bringing up one factor that they are wholeheartedly focused on. The Watchman, I saw that Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning. Is that effective immediately, or is that like, down the line? Like the end of the year kind of deal. It was breaking news. Either she got a threat or she's just tired of being alone, right? Because every time she made good points about certain things, she was always by herself. She rarely had anybody backing her up. And she always called people on their nonsense, and she was a standalone. January 5th, all right. So it's, so next year. No, effective in January. Roger that. But she always, listen, every time she made some good points, there was no one, no one backing her up. Source says that she was threatened. All right. Whatever it is, I don't know. But she always seemed like she was by herself. And, the whole Epstein file, she was the only one barking about it. And no one else said anything, and clearly she wasn't on it, because she was all in. Spectre, listen, the thing is, Marjorie Taylor Greene, resigning doesn't do anything for us. Somebody said that's one less vote. That doesn't mean anything. Nothing that happens, guys, is going to affect us, and there's nothing we can do about it unless we get rowdy, right? So unless we get rowdy, guys, we get a little crazy, like, the Tea Party crazy, then yes, then things will change. But sitting here and we got to keep the faith. We got to protest. We got to put our faith in these politicians. The politicians have abandoned us a long time ago. This nonsense that we're going to keep tight and hope for the best is not working. Hopes and dreams do not work. The only thing that works, guys, is the Tea Party. Right? People start getting crazy. Tea Party time. So that's the only thing that's going to change anything. Right? And I'm not talking about throwing tea into the river either. I'm talking about, like, assholes and elbows and all kinds of shit. That's the only thing that's going to change. Everybody's like, yeah, but the left. Listen, I hate to agree with the left, but to get things done, to get things in your or shift in your direction, big things have to happen for people to recognize that. And politicians, guys, you know what they do? They go, oh, they're just going to complain about it. They're going to hold signs, and that's it. And then we'll move forward. That's all they're going to do. We have to do something meaningful that's going to shake the country, scare the politicians, and have people listen. But up until then, guys, doesn't matter. Right, that it was the 2% tax raise, right? That set everything off. Now imagine now, look where we are now. Listen, the ancestors of those first Americans were spinning in their graves. Well, they weren't the first Americans, but they'd be spinning in their graves right now, looking at what we're paying, because we allowed it to happen. Right? We should be up their asses. We should be, again, tea partying right now. Not breaking dishes and shit either. I'm talking about breaking, bones. Maybe even hearts. But listen, again, we're going to complain about this shit till we're blue in the face. But nothing's going to change until we do something, until we get off our ass and do something. Yep, for real. The last day is January 5th. It's over. Why is January 5th the last day? There's a date that was thrown at me, December 19th. My son's mother brought it up. She's like, what's the significance about it? And isn't that the day they're releasing the Epstein file? I mean, listen, I don't know anymore. I think, I do care about the Epstein file getting released, because I told you, that goes down a rabbit hole a lot of people don't want to go. And that rabbit hole is going to get ugly. It's going to get muddy. It's going to get super dirty and super bloody. If it goes according to plan. But yeah. Anyway. Let me okay. Wrong person. But anyway, with that being said, guys, January 5th is her last day. Somebody said the last day, as in like it said, yeah, for real. Last day is January 5th. It's over. Oh, he made it. 5G Trevor made it sound like the world was coming to an end. It's December 19th, but I think, again, all redacted. Probably right. Audio, probably right. And listen, again, it's all part of this plan. It doesn't matter, guys, what happens next or what distraction they put in front of us. It's all part of a bigger plan. And Trump is selling us out. Now, I'm talking about that later tonight on the Angry Truth channel, but he's selling us out. That shit with Saudi Arabia, that $1 trillion investment into the United States, sold us out. The whole Chinese thing with the 600,000 Chinese students here in the country, sold us out. Israel sold us out. This man has done more selling out than Biden did in his entire career. Big time. And he's doing it in our faces. And the fact that he made that statement a couple weeks ago about, I know what MAGA needs, I know what's good for them. When he said that shit, I was like, yo, someone needs to kick this man in the throat. Because that's that authoritarianism kind of attitude where I know what's best for them. Right? Didn't Hillary Clinton know what was best for us? Talking about she wanted the UN to come in and what was it? Take away our guns or something to that regards a few years back because she knows what's best for us. These politicians do not know what's best for us. They don't. Once they start taking that tone, that's a dangerous tone. Very dangerous tone. And what you call it? Someone mentioned Three Eye Atlas just now. Oh, that was okay. Three Eye Atlas is closest to the Earth that day. And supposedly it broke up. Three Eye Atlas broke up into three parts. I can't get a beat on this thing anymore. Ever since the one around the sun, it's done all kinds of crazy shit. You know, it's just short of shooting out Rosie O'Donnell to attack the planet Earth and eat us. This thing's done a million and one things. It had a signal, then it didn't. Then it had a coma, then it doesn't. It passed by the had another signal, made some deviations. I'm like, what in the hell? This thing's all over the place. And now NASA came out a couple days ago saying, oh, it's just a comet. Liar. You took that long to tell us it's just a comet. Oh my God. NASA was when they were reporting about the asteroid, I was like, this fucking shit show. It was just a straight lie. I've never seen, and like, they didn't even believe the lie. The little Hindu guy, like the 7-Eleven Indian, not the American Indians. He was sitting there like, him being, and it's not an alien ship. I was like, what? You did all of that just to tell us it's not an alien ship? Get out of here. I ain't buying that shit for a second. Everybody else saw its deviations, its signals. There was something with the core that was weird about it, but they couldn't really say what it was. And now all of a sudden, it's a comet. Don't mind that rock flying in the sky. It's just a comet. Get the fuck out of here. Trump is a man of prediction. Everybody's So it was all. I was in the firehouse when I was in the firehouse when I saw that, and I'm staring at it, and I'm like, are they really talking about? Are they really, after all this time, telling us it's just a comet? You could have did that in a pamphlet or some shit, or just an article, just released it to the world. No, they did a whole thing on the news about it being a comet. I'm like, these fucking people, man. The lying, the scumbaggery is insane. And also, that comment that Trump made about Mamdani, listen, man, I'm dead ass serious. Fuck Trump. Enough already with his bullshit. He's going to say that, Mamdani is, hold on. Mamdani stance during Trump meeting shows that he wants to be a good little boy, body language experts said. But Trump had stated earlier that he was, let me get it, too much shit going on my phone. Mamdani, Trump's expected slugfest turned into a love fest as president says socialists will make, and I quote, make New York City greater than ever before. Come on, man. Like, seriously? No, I sound like Biden now. Come on, man. Like, this, he called, Trump called him every name under the sun, saying how he was bad for New York, socialism doesn't work, he's a communist. He called him all of this nonsense. He gets to the White House and then he says he'll be greater, he'll make New York greater than ever before. What is this shit? I'm like, yo, done with this man. I'm telling you, this man is selling us out and he's backtracking like you wouldn't believe. Saudi Arabian king said Trump was soft or is soft. Mike Hawk. Yeah. Patel Hotel. Yeah, it's incredible the switching of this man and his bullshit in the last 11 months. One back on everything. Yo, this guy is such the turncoat. He should have stood his ground and be like, yeah, you know what, fuck. Because he said, if Mamdani wins, I'm going to pull federal funding from New York City. Remember that threat? My God, man. Today I started lifting today. I started lifting heavy. For the last few months, I was lifting light like a bitch. Today I got on the 315 and got it for 5. And I haven't squatted 315 in 5 years, 6 years. Still have it. Listen, The Watchmen, I hope not. I really don't. I really hope not. But yeah, like I think today, man, my strength was back. It hasn't been there in a long time. So it's a little happy about it. But my max on the squat used to be, was it 485? 485 on 485 on the deadlift. My squat was like 425, 450. Whatever. I'll get back there. Not too old. Really? Yeah, listen, man. There's some people that are up Trump's ass. There's a guy in my firehouse. Yo, he's up Trump's ass. He's licking his dick sideways. He's like, no matter what Trump does, I'm dying to see or dying to hear what he thinks about Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning. I'm dying to hear that shit. Because you can't, listen, you are not a free thinker if you're up any politicians behind. Period. You can't be a free thinker. You know, I mean, you're attached at the hips. They're your umbilical cord, whatever you want to call it, man. But yo, it's bizarre the amount of people that are still Trump's ass after all of this turncoat shit he's been doing. He said my deadlift is 5 pounds. Listen, any self-respecting man should be able to deadlift 225. Throwing that out there. Just as a groundwork. 225. That's like 225 is like my warm-up. So I think men should be able to at least lift that once. Every guy. Even beta males should be able to get that. Probably not. No, sorry. Beta males are probably less than that. But still. And I think every guy should be able to bench. I thought 225 was like every guy could bench. Apparently not. I did that trial at a firehouse a bunch of years ago. Had guys get under a weight. And I'm like, every guy should be able to do this. And one guy got under it and almost died. He unracked it. I was like, yeah. He got it up. I'm like, get it. And he went down. And I went to go touch it. He was like, no. And he said, no, get it off me. Get it off me. I was like, holy shit. He couldn't get it up. He almost died. So it was funny, but I thought that every guy could do 225. Apparently, that's not a thing. That's a thing I made up in my head of some shit. Oh. Yeah, so anyway, guys. Yeah, there's a lot going on, and there's going to continue to be a lot going on. This is going to be the norm. There is not going to be any comforting, nothing easy. We're not going to catch a break. They're already starting with the flu, and it's nonsense. The H3N2, they're like, that's going to be really extremely severe. Not extremely, but it's going to be severe this winter. People are going to get really sick. Though we don't think it's going to be a pandemic, a lot of elderly people are going to get sick this year. Okay. So with that, coincidentally, like clockwork, what did they release? Oh, they're on their second or third trial for the new flu vaccine. And when I mean new, I'm talking about that new technology that's in it. Right? So they're already saying, and they said that new arm ticket for the flu is better than the standard arm ticket for the flu. So the one that everybody's taking now, they're going to kick that to the curb because they have a new mRNA flu vaccine. And they're already starting with it. They're starting with it by scaring people with this H3N2. And then people are going to be like, oh my God, my granny's sick. I need to take that. And then there you go. There goes your hair falling out, nutsack falling off, nipples on your titties, peeling off your breast. People are not going to be happy until they look like Frankenstein. Never been able to bench press. Johnny 308. Never able to bench press 225. Listen, I guess it's not for everybody, but I was under like this misconception that like all guys can do it. I don't know why I thought that. But again, we even had the chick in the firehouse. She went to bench, I think 185 or 175. She almost died. So, and I was laughing. I was laughing the entire time because she got it off the rack. And usually when you can get it off the rack and you lock it out, you're good to go. Right? And then once you get down here, you know that, all right, I'm in trouble, I'm not. But both of them almost died. It was going to be it's going to be 2 funerals in and a hat, man. It was bad. I'd never seen that. And at least she tried. She gave it, she gave it a shot, but it was 185. I could do that shit. It's not the point. Like I said, I thought people were all, like, at least in the fire department, we were all like built the same, but apparently we're not. Some of us are built like bitches. But anyway, a Law Dog, he probably does bench. Well, maybe not anymore because he's fat now. Back in his college days, though, his records was when he was a prospect for the NFL. His numbers were pretty good for the NFL. Like the whole combine, like he did 225 for 25 reps or 30 reps or some shit like that, and his run time was insane. So he was a good athlete, but then he didn't get picked for the NFL. He didn't get drafted for the NFL. So I mean, he might not have been that good, but still, his bench caught my eye. I was like, no shit. So maybe he's still benching. He don't look like he is. He looked like he's benching Twinkies and shit, But he looked like he's not benching anymore. Built like Snowflake. I don't know, man. I just thought everybody could, like hit a certain standard, and I was wrong. If I was putting money, like if I would have put money on this, I would have lost like fucking all my money. I was like, I bet you he could lift it, and he could lift it, and he could lift it. A couple of guys got under that bar. One guy's arm was shaking like a fucking chicken wing. Like, I was like, what the fuck? And he unracked it. He brought it down control as he went up. His little chicken wing like, I was like, holy shit! But he got it up, and then that was it. He was done. But the way his little chicken wing was flapping, I thought he was gonna fly away. I was like, I've never seen such shit like that. I'm like, I was like, holy shit. I almost killed an entire firehouse. And I was just like, we were just fucking around, man. Like trying to see who could lift. And I had this fucking stupid outlook on this shit. It was dumb. But whatever. It was still fun, but a lot of dudes almost died. And chicks. Almost died that day. Anyway. She says she will resign after fallout with Trump. Are they speculating the fallout with Trump, or did she say that? Because I keep getting this thing to jump across. Have you covered? No, Joseph, I haven't covered the 8 scenarios yet. I'm going to start covering them in a couple minutes, actually. Oh, today, man, we were talking about Tea Party earlier. They have a firefighters singles night, and I was going to go, and then I said, nah. I said, I become that old man. I was going to go to this thing, and I'm like, yeah, I'd rather just do my live stream. I'm turning into an old man. Because if it wasn't the live stream tonight, I was going to have, like, tea and maybe, an English biscuit or some shit, and then go to bed. I've been up fucking 36 hours, too. I'm tired. I'll be up 36 hours in a half hour. Fucking exhausted. And even though I was able to squat today, do my kettlebell workout about a half hour ago, now I'm starting to wind down. And for me to pass out on this is going to be terrible if I do. The tiny hat scared MTG. You think so, Zoomer? You think they were like threatening her because she was going after them? I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to have to take some Geritol. Salty Dog, I don't have them yet, but I'm headed in that direction. I got my sleep shorts on, though. Those are on. Renee, I am not separated. Separated for 3 years now. Who could bench 405? Have you bought the Harris Tweed slippers yet? Harris Tweed slippers? Probably gonna look into them now that you bought it up. Yeah, I don't wear slippers yet. Yeah, I'm not that old yet. I haven't heard of Geritol in years. Yeah, what's funny? I bring up Geritol like to the younger guys in the firehouse. They don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, we'll make a joke with us old people. And And I'm like, yeah, why don't you go fucking to sleep and take your Geritol, right? And then like the young kids just look at us like, what is that? And, you know, it's funny, like in the firehouse, there are jokes that we'll make and they just don't get. And that's when you know you're old. When the young guys stare at you like a deer in headlights because you made a joke and they're just like, what does that mean? You know, you're like, oh man. Right? I'm going to go get some inshore, get my slipper, my sleep shorts, and fucking go to bed now. Yeah, it's just incredible, man. There's so many young guys on the job now. It's insane. I become the old guy. We've become the old guy just like that. Never seen such a switch over before. It's insane. I feel so old now. And then, you know, and then I catch myself doing this. When I got on the job, oh God, that is the kiss of death. That's how you know you're old. When you go back in my days, you know, we had the rigs, we had to sit by the engine. Like it was we're old. Back in my days, we used to do this. You know, it's horrendous. Or the one thing I caught myself saying this shit, and I got up and walked out of the kitchen. I was like, when I first got on the job, meals were $5 a night. And as I said it, I was like, fuck. I got up and walked out of the kitchen. I was like, fuck. Because it used to be cheap. Now meals are about $15 to $18 a meal. So we used to be $5 a meal. Now it's almost $15 to $18 a meal. Some days are really bad. Some days are like $25. So, you know, that's how old I am. And there were guys, when I got there, the meal used to be like $3-4, right? So go figure. Demographic Socialist Fire Department. He had no clue. I told the kid he was Rain Man. Yeah, listen, you can't, man, Trump won. You can't bring up like jokes like that. Hey, Rain Man. They're gonna be like, what is that? Is that a racial term? You know, like, and then all kids are liberals. So, yeah, you say like, you mention an '80s movie, and they look at you like you're a psych patient. And you know, the crazy shit is like, I guess with my kids, because we watch movies, I can bring up a lot of '80s movies, and they know. But you say any '80s or early '90s movies to any of these kids out here, they don't know what you're talking about. Meanwhile, our parents could bring up any black and white movie, and we all heard of it or saw it. It's wild, man. It's a wild thing to get old and then be like the old man out. Like the other day, I was the oldest guy in the firehouse. I felt old. I thought these guys were going to put me to bed and fucking, you know, all right, old man, grandpa, you know. I get that shit every now and again. Grandpa, go to your room. I'm like, fuck. Sucks being old, guys. Anyway, let's move forward. So, guys, the 8 predictions for the world in 2030. Now, this is the World Economic Forum's prediction. So keep that in mind. And this is their 8 main points that they want to focus on. But I'm going to dive into each one in a little bit. So I'm going to read you the small prediction description and tell you what they want to do to us. They want to gangbang us is what they want to do. But let me try to keep it as clean as I possibly can. Anyway, the World Economic Forum predicts that by 2030, that's in 5 years, or less than 5 years, excuse me, all products will be sold as a service. We are seeing that now. You know that, for example, on Apple, all of the movies that you buy or songs that you buy, it's still theirs, and they can cut you off from it if you owe payment or whatever it is. Or let's say your card goes bad and you didn't pay whatever it was. They lock you, not that they lock you out of your account, but you can't listen to certain songs or watch certain movies anymore. I'm like, but you bought it with your hard-earned money. It's not yours. You're paying for the service that the movie's stored on. So technically the movie's yours, but it's on a server that they own, so it's not really yours. So that is the product service or products that's sold as a service. We're seeing that now. There will be a global price on carbon emission, and home-based medical care will become more common. Other predictions include a shift towards eating less meat, changes in global power dynamics, and advancement in technology and innovations. They should definitely do marriage as a subscription. You want to marry a chick for like a couple weeks, test it out. If you don't like her, leave, put her back on the shelf. go about your business. Go pick another younger model that's not going to break down and cry, you know? This is going to force, a lot of us to step back from society. So, now, prediction number 1, all products will be sold as a service, moving away from ownership. You will own nothing and be happy. Prediction number 2, a global price of carbon emission will be established, affecting costs for consumer. That's the thing that net bank in the UK started for fun. They started this nonsense for fun so that you can, start to learn how your carbon footprint is affecting the planet. So they're already starting that in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. For buying like DVDs or movies, you're probably gonna have to go back to hard copies. I have a lot of hard copy movies. You have to go back to that and CDs if you can find them. Prediction number 3: the world will see no single superpower with multiple nations rising in influence. I don't even know where to begin with that one. That's sort of like an overlord superpower kind of deal. And that's not an overlord because an overlord's one person. This is probably like, let's say 8 nations come together and they're making the rules for the entire world. Right? That's what it's probably going to be. But again, that's still not bad because those 8 people, for example, rule over the world, and you're definitely losing your firearms. And granted, we're not going to give up without a fight. Nonetheless, this is the outcome they want. Then they act a fool. You can stop payment and have them repossessed. Giant 308, that's pretty good. Yeah, listen, the whole dating thing is a lot worse than I thought. I mean, so many women are crying about not finding dates. I'm like, yo, you guys created this monster. You created this situation. Guys are perfectly happy being home, watching TV, doing YouTube videos, playing video games, because they don't have to worry about anything. Like again, I was considering going to that dating party thing, that singles thing, and then it dawned. Here's what really dawned on me. Here's what really stopped me from going. When I looked at the poster, I'm like, oh, that would be cool, but then I realized that's for the young people. That's not for us 48, 50-year-olds. So I was out. I was like, all right. And then and I don't have like nice clothes to wear either. I got like combat pants and these t-shirts, right? So I don't have shit to wear. But that was one of the things that stopped me was the age gap. So I'm going to go there and there's going to be these fucking 20-year-olds, maybe 30-year-old idiots running around all on their phones, maybe dancing and grinding. Yeah. I'm like, yo, I didn't want to deal with that. I didn't want to be the old guy there. That's what I'm saying. You know, the old, like some of you guys, when you went to the club, you used to see that old dude dancing in the corner, trying to pick up on young chicks. I didn't want to be that guy. Not at all. So I was like, yeah, let me keep my ass home. But anyway, prediction number 4. Home-based medical care will become more common, allowing remote consultation. Now, again, I'm going to go into depth into each of these. I'm just giving you a quick description of it. Prediction number 5. There will be a shift towards eating less meat, influenced by sustainability and cost. I don't know like what the hell that means. I know what they're going to do with that. I know exactly what they're going to do with number 5. Number 6, prediction number 6. Syrian refugees may become leaders in business and innovation. That was the more peculiar one right there. Prediction number 6. Remember that one because I do not know what that means. I mean, I have an idea. That doesn't make sense. Why Syrian refugees? Why that specific nation, group of people? Why them? Anyway, prediction number 7. Western values will face ongoing challenges and tests globally. So clearly they're going to be testing the shit out of us and our patience for the next whoever knows. Prediction number 8. Advances in technology will bring humanity closer to landing on Mars. So there is a theory maybe this is true, that they want to they're focused on Mars, the WEF, like super focused. And I'm trying to figure out why. Mars collapsed. Apparently Mars used to be this flourishing planet, and it collapsed, right? In on itself, actually. Ozone layer collapsed on itself. Everything, its environment shot. But there's something about it that they're really, really focused on. Nonetheless, that's their 8 focus. 6 and 8 are weird. Focused on Mars and focused on Syrian refugees becoming the leaders in business. Now, right now, the leaders in business are the Saudi Arabians, or the Abu Dhabi people, the fucking, the carpet flyers, sand people. They're the lead in business right now. They're buying everything up. Now, for those of you that play video games, I know some of you heard about the amount of money that a Saudi Arabian prince bought EA Sports. For those that don't know, EA Sports, I think, is Electronic Arts Sports. It's a video game company that started back when we were kids, and they were bought out by some Arabian prince, if you will. And he bought it out, if I'm not mistaken, for either double or triple what it was worth. They put more money into that than it was actually worth, and the EA community is up in arms because video games that they don't like, they're not going to release. If they're women, like Laura Croft with the big ass titties and fucking the 2 guns and running, and like if they don't like that, they can get rid of the game or put a fucking whole Muslim gown on her and she's running, through the fucking video game with 245s or whatever it is she was carrying. So there's a lot of shit that's bad with that. They're trying to buy up the electronic and video game sector. The Jews are trying to buy up the social media and media entertainment sector. This is a war for communications, and we're right in the middle of it. So I find this to be a very dangerous. Suze, there is a bad propaganda with Islam right now. Super bad. I've never seen such nonsense on X. Never in my life have I seen anything as bad. It is so bad. I mean, first of all, you have these people, the sand people, telling us this guy was in 42nd Street, Times Square. He was yelling into the air, I guess, or to the camera. He was saying that we're going to be in everyone's home by some year. I forgot what it was. It wasn't 2030. But he said, we're going to be in everybody's home in America. I'm like, come to my home and watch what happens next. These people, guys, have an ulterior motive. They do. There's a group of them that are dumb enough to tell us what their ulterior motive is. They have an ulterior motive. Now, there is a strange phenomenon right now going on in Denmark, I think Poland, UK, and I think Australia. There is a dramatic shift in Catholics, Christians, if you will, converting to Islam. And their propaganda angle is, we talk about Jesus too, and we like Jesus, and we respect him. That is the angle they're using. But there's a bunch of other sand people hiding out in the desert that say that Jesus was Muslim. And that's another propaganda angle they're spreading. So right now, guys, the tiny hats are spreading their propaganda bullshit by saying Israel's great. Then you got the sand people telling us how great Islam is. We are fucking stuck in the middle and we're not doing anything about it. Right now, we should be forming crosses like bow staffs and hitting these people in the fucking back of the heads with them. But instead, we're sitting here going, let's see where this goes. This is going to get bad. We might be, in another 5 to 10 years, in the middle of a true holy war. But this holy war is not going to be knights in a battlefield on horseback, thugging it out. This is going to be, by information, by way of information and propaganda. So this religious war is going to be by way of propaganda. And we're going to be smack dab in the middle of it. Like a bunch of herbs. Because we're not doing anything about it. Charlie Kirk was probably the last hope for that. Everybody else now, I do not trust. You have the whole Turning Point USA Christian group. I do not trust them. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. You know that Erica Kirk, you know what scumbag she is? There's a video, I have to find it. But she couldn't remember her kids' birthdays and her wedding date. Charlie Kirk was sitting there like quizzing her, and she couldn't remember the day we got married, and she was like, he was like, and then he said whatever the date was. She goes, yeah, that's right. She said she couldn't remember the year. That's what it was. The month or the year she couldn't remember. I think she remembered the date. She couldn't remember the month or year. Women have photographic memory. A woman could remember an argument she had fucking 5 years ago at 2:59 at night. What you were wearing, what you guys ate that night. She can remember the entire thing. This chick couldn't remember that or her kid's birthday. That's a bad sign. That's a sign of a rat, if you will. The Watchmen, are they? So, yeah, and again, Erica Kirk also lied for Mikey McCoy. I'm not going to get into that because it's just going to piss me off. But let's get back on track with this 8 world-shaking predictions of the World Economic Forum. So anyway, implications for consumers, service economy. Expect more services instead of ownership, like car sharing and subscription models. Car sharing. Oh, God, they're really going to fucking stress me out. Increased costs. The carbon pricing system may lead to higher prices for everyday activities such as driving and flying. Okay. Was driving and flying. Healthcare access. Remote medical care will enhance convenience and accessibility for patients. Dietary changes. Here we go. Rising meat prices may push consumers towards alternative protein sources and sustainable eating habits. They can eat my dick the long way. They can eat my sustainable dick. There's no way. I'm gonna go to the store. Only a pound of beef for fucking 8 people. Like, no way. Seriously. These predictions reflect a significant shift in economics, technology, and social structures that could reshape the daily life of a person by 2030. Now, in 5 years, I do not see these changes happening unless something catastrophic happens. Been saying that for a long time. Something catastrophic happens, this will go into effect. And they do have car sharing here in the city. I forgot the name of the company. I want to say Zoom, but I'd be wrong. But there's a rideshare company here in New York where they do that. You park the car, right, and then you get out, and then someone comes up with their phone, and they find the car. They unlock it with the phone, and then the key's inside the car, which is like a bad idea. I think the key's in the car. At least the key used to be in the car. Anyway, so then you unlock the car, and then you drive around in it for a couple of days. And then when you're done, you take it to another parking location under the company name. Parking location under the company's name. You park it there, somebody else jumps into it. Now, not right away, but you get my point. They're starting that nonsense here, right? Zip cars, yes. There was another company, too. Zip cars is it, but there was another company. But that's what it is. Kathy and Donna, thank you for that. What's going on, Edley? Zip cars. Yeah. Fuck those cars. I got in one zip car once. I felt my estrogen rise and my testosterone drop, plummeted. I felt gayer than a $2 bill sitting in that fucking thing. I was like, oh my God. I wanted to see Barbara Streisand. I was like, the way we were. Like, it was just the gayest ride in the world. I'm like, why am I in this thing? I'm like, this is horrible. I couldn't drive fast. With so much estrogen being pumped into the engine. It was going a nice fucking 30 miles an hour, cruising. Got it on the highway, opened it up to 35. It was so gay. I'll never jump in another zip car again. It was at the time I was in between cars. And, the wife was like, why don't we try a zip car? I'm like, why don't you just smack me in the face with a fucking dildo while you're at it? She was just like, come on, it's not that bad. Got in it. I was just like, I was gay for a day. It was insane. I was like, holy shit, man. It was bad. It was just, and it was small. You know, the kids were cramped in the back, and they were skinny and tiny. They were like little Ethiopians, and they were still fucking crammed in the back. It was a fucking terrible car. Terrible car. It was just bad. You know, and the whole dropping off, and they're like, did you like your car? No, I didn't like my gay car. It's like driving in a fucking tampon, that thing. It was horrendous. The fucking string hanging off the back of it. Thought it was a pull string. Nope, it was part of the tampon collection. Riding down the fucking highway. Such a stupid car. Never get in a zip car. If you're a chick, it's fine. But, dude, don't. Don't do it to yourself. You'll feel your fucking nuts fall off and your balls, what you call a penis, invert and turn into a vagina driving in one of those fucking things. Anyway, no, it wasn't lime green, thank God. I think it was blue or red. Can't remember which color it was. But it wasn't black, that's for sure. It's just a dumb thing to drive in. So stupid. Never heard of such a nonsense. People skipping to the... And the white people that don't live in New York City, you know, they live in, like, Wisconsin. They come to New York City like, I want to go to my zip car. And they're skipping over to their zip car. I'm like, you better stop that fucking skipping. This is New York, goddammit. You know, but anyway, it's just bad. Don't do it. If someone says, hey, let's rent a zip, smack them right in the face. Call it a day, because you do not want to get in that car. You're gonna have to take testosterone shots after getting in that shit. It's bad, man. So fucking tiny and small. My wife, remember, this is sitting on my fucking lap. It was horrendous, man. Horrendous. Anyway, let's get into the breakdown of each of this nonsense. Anyway, all what you call it? All services. I said this. Hold on. Oh, Paige. Yeah. Because I'm a pain in the ass. That's another reason why I'm single. I'm a pain in the ass. Never getting a zip card, and I'm a chick. Yeah, just don't do it, man. Really don't. This is bad. It's bad. Whatever. Anyway, so all products will be sold as a service. It is hard to imagine a world where nobody buys anything anymore, but this is precisely the first of the 2023 predictions from the World Economic Forum. Of course, we are already seeing everything from music to car sharing being paid for as a monthly service rather than bought outright. Some people and some services that might make sense. I remain solidly in the camp of owning most of the things I use daily, like underwear. Still, I believe we will continue to see new and novel products offered as a service, judging by the success of current businesses using this model. Current businesses are using this model. They are talking about apartment sharing, excuse me. There was something I read in the World Economic Forum about apartment sharing, and if I'm not mistaken, they're looking to test that soon. How that works, apartment sharing, is you live in we would call it an SRO, single room occupancy, but a room like this. There are 3 bedrooms in this apartment. Each room is rented out by somebody. And then you have the living room, the main quarter. And according to how this is supposed to work, is they're going to start with 3 people in the home. Sort of like a hostel, right? I mean, people do it now, but it'll be sold as a service. And you are on a monthly basis. So if you only want to do this for 2 months, you can leave. Whereas right now, you have to do the full year. Anyway, they'll also want to try shifts. So if you're working the night shift and someone's working the day shift person sleeps at night when the night person's at work, and then when the night person comes home, the day person goes to work and the night person's sleeping all in the same room. That is not going to work out well, not even a little bit. Nonetheless, that is a service that they want to provide. Number 2, a set global price on carbon emission. The second prediction is that by 2030, there will be a worldwide carbon emission price and trading system whereby nations and companies buy and sell credits. A scheme started by China in 2017. The most significant consequences up for the average consumer appears to be a likely marked increase in price for everyday activities such as driving a car or taking a flight. When coupled with high fuel prices we are already seeing, it it portends the it portends the beginnings of a profound shift towards both mass transit and electric vehicles for many Americans. That's the other thing. They were pushing e-bikes like you wouldn't believe. They want e-bikes out the ass. Forget about just a regular bicycle. You could pedal your fat ass to work so you don't have to sit there and zip all over the place like a fat homo. You can jump on a bike and pedal the fat away. Nope, they don't want you to do that because they want you to stay sick. Now, initially when this first came out, when they talked about transportation, they said bicycle. They said jump on your bicycle, pedal the fat away. Now they're talking about e-bikes. E-bikes are inherently dangerous to keep in your home, so they will have a base or a port where you can park them downstairs. All right. Number 3, no more lone superpower. As an American, this prediction hits me close to home, but it's hard to deny that many countries, including China, Germany, and Japan, are rapidly growing their economies to challenge American dominance in global politics. China right now is suffering, so this article has to be old. This is especially concerning as many of these nation states don't necessarily embrace traditional Western ideas of democracy and freedom. It is also concerning that they continue to build their militaries in preparation for potential conflict, as we have seen in the Ukraine. I'm not showing my underwears. Yeah, seriously, imagine sharing underwears. They were talking about buying secondhand clothes because they want to minimize people buying clothes. So they were talking about buying people buying secondhand clothing. All right. Home-based medical care. This one's interesting. Imagine a world where you don't have to spend any time in a large hospital waiting room only to get moved to a smaller waiting room without any reading material or comfortable chairs. At least according to the WEF, many of us will be able to get remote medical care in the comfort of our own home. They're starting to do that already. Virtual assistants will be also more helpful, better able to diagnose and treat common ailments. I, for one, am looking forward to the time when I no longer go to the doctor office, and by judging by the rapid adoption of telehealth, I'd say many Americans agree. Telehealth is good when you need it. I don't think it's necessary right now. I don't think it was ever actually necessary. I mean, if you are like shitting your pants, yes, telehealth is great. But if you can get your fat ass up and walk, get your fat ass up and walk. Number 5, this is the more important one. We'll be eating less meat. I don't see Americans voluntarily reducing the amount of meat they consume in a given year, but if prices continue to rise, that wouldn't be a surprise if this prediction comes to pass. We will also see trends towards sustainable agriculture as well as more healthy options. I don't know what the healthy options are because I am not drinking cockroach milk. I'm out on that. There are a variety of factors that probably play into the American meat consumption. Still, if these trends continue and prices keep rising at the grocery stores, I will be finding other ways to get my protein. This sounds like a liberal. Anybody who wrote this is a liberal. He's like, I'll be finding other ways to break my protein. You better start on OnlyFans. Start on OnlyFans, you can start eating meat. All right. Syrian refugees. This is number 6. Syrian refugees become 2030 CEOs. I don't even know how that's possible. Whatever. It's hard to see how these predictions directly affect Americans on a large scale. However, I think more significant forecast is that global population will continue to be displaced at record numbers, and countries need to be prepared to receive and integrate these individuals. No, we don't. Instead of simply turning them away, absolutely, I would prefer to see an American that employs a system of solid screening for dangerous migrants, providing services for those fleeing horrible situations, and integrating them into our culture and way of value. Absolutely not. Because Muslims do not know how to acclimate to our culture. They are the one group that comes here and tries to change everything to their own. The San people are no good when it comes to that shit. There are a lot of cultures that the Chinese don't either. They're fucking ching chong chinging. They don't want to adopt our way of life. They complain about Americans, but then they come here to change our way of life. Anyway, let's see. Number 7, Western values will continue to be tested. The WEF predicts that as we see more and more global displacements and refugees due to destabilization, conflicts, and climate change, we'll see democracy push closer to its breaking point. Indeed, over the past few years, we have seen several examples of countries electing leaders who push back against unchecked immigration. While these leaders often blur the lines between legal and illegal immigration, this American consumer wants to keep a focus on integrating new citizens into becoming a productive member of society. They can society my nuts in their mouth. Seriously. Anyway, that was number 7. Number 8, the last one. Again, I don't understand this one, but whatever. We'll be closer to landing on Mars. Don't care, because we're not going. The final prediction from the WEF is that we will continue to move forward towards manned missions to the Red Planet. While I don't foresee the average American ever boarding a ship to go to Mars in our lifetime, this opens up some exciting possibilities for advancements in technology here on Earth and the potential to discover life outside our planet. Not to mention all the fantastic business opportunities. Shut the hell up. Anyway, this fucking nerd wrote this article. I don't even know who this nerd was, but he wrote this article and he was really sucking the dick on this one. He was going hard after it. Anyway, adoption to the systemic shift. There you have it. 8 predictions, whatever. It's 8 predictions and yada yada yada, and sand people and Jews, and they're gonna run the world and build this sector. We're all fucking screwed, and we're gonna be eating less meat while Syrian refugees yelling at me because he's the CEO of a company that's testing my fucking resolve every time I come into work, and then they're telling us to work harder so we can send the rich people on a nice flight to Mars, leaving us behind on this fucking bullshit planet. There you have it. All in a nutshell. They're pretty much telling us they're going to fucking rail us over the next few years. And again, the Syrian refugee thing still didn't make any sense. That explanation was by far the worst explanation out of all 8 of these. That was weak. He's like, well, they're fleeing a bad situation. They're coming. Shut up. Why don't they go back to their country and fight? They like to come here to this country. Those people like to come here to this country and burn flags. They like to burn Bibles too while you're at it. They do all kinds of shit that's not supposed to be done here. Nonetheless, guys, this is where we are. These people testing our patience when they come here and trying to change our way of life to their way of life. Will there be meat on Mars? Absolutely not. That's another reason why they're looking for more protein-based meals that don't need to be refrigerated, because the mission to Mars. Now, the mission to Mars is the one-way mission as of right now. If you go to Mars, you are not coming back. Because if you come back, your fucking nipples are going to have melted off. You're going to lose all your hair. Your dick will shrivel up to a fucking, dried up snake or some shit. A worm, if you will. Your muscles will probably be atrophied. You'll look like a fucking old, shriveling man. And that radiation that's bombarding you is why they want to put the habitats, if you will, in old volcano tunnels. Right? So the habitats are they have a bunch of volcano tunnels up in Mars, on Mars, and in these tunnels, it would shield the people from the radiation of the sun. So the habitats would be built in there. They would have a little habitat on the outside. The people building the habitat, when they get done, they're probably going to die. And then a second crew comes in and finishes off the rest of the habitat. And then the habitat gets to expand from there. Underground, that is. They would absolutely have sun time where they would go up and get some sun so that they don't turn into a pale old white man. Whatever the fuck you white people look like when you burn in the sun. But they're going to have sun time. Also, sometimes helps with your psyche, right? Always keep that in mind, guys. Sun helps out with your psyche. $3,000 people due to lack of cattle. Really? Gideon. Is that Gideon? Guile? Giddy. I don't know how to say your name, dude. But that's interesting. Very interesting. All right, time's up. All right, guys. Thank you for the heads up, Johnny308. Appreciate it as always. Guys, I'm going to head over to the Angry Truth channel. We're going to talk about Trump being a sellout. And there's something very, very important you guys have to pay attention to that I talk about in the Angry Truth channel. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining me. I will see you guys next week. I think Monday, not Tuesday. I'll see you next week, Monday, for the doubleheader. Other than that, guys, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it as always. See you guys. See some of you guys in a little bit.